everybody. Welcome to Sex in Toronto City. I'm your host, Beatriz Vieira. And as usual, I want to spice it up. I wanted to bring to you what is out there, the best of the best, the creme of de la creme. Brazil, Canada, world. Are you guys ready for Tyomi Morgan? Yes, guys, she's here today. Can you believe what the honor we having to have her in the show? Tyomi, you girl, you know that you are so well known in the world. Like, seriously, you're the goddess of the sex, the ninja sex expert, the cowgirl, the founder of Exotic, right? Or the glamour.
Of Erotica101.com, yes, and I work for Exotica, the largest adult event dedicated to love and sex in the USA.
Oh my gosh, I thank you so much for being here today. I am really happy that you can share with our public. So the podcast is streaming to language. And for this interview, we're going to have a little agenda. Everybody's going to understand. And in Brazil, people are going to know who Tyomi is if they don't know yet. We're going to spice it up. Tyomi, please, welcome. And did I say something that you kind of like wanted to add to it? Something that I might forgot about it?
Yeah, so I'll just so that everybody is aware of like, why am I even here? So like Beatrice said, I am a sex educator, sex coach. I'm a multi-hyphenate, which means I do so many things in the sex space. I am a director and producer of erotic content. I am a sex writer. I'm a tantric practitioner. I'm the founder of the Cowgirl Workout, the only fitness program in the world that teaches women how to ride dick, and also to build confidence and just moving in a way that's more sexy and building confidence in their bodies. And I am the seminar coordinator and resident sex expert for the Exotica Expo, the largest adult event in the United States dedicated to love and sex. And I've been working in this business for over 10 years now, and I am known internationally thanks to my YouTube channel and my viral videos. And you can find me on social media on Instagram at Real Glamazon Tyomi and on Twitter at Glamazon Tyomi, and on YouTube at Glamorerotica101, and check out my blog site, Glamorerotica101.com, for more information and free advice. But I love talking to people. I love talking about sex. I love helping people feel comfortable with their bodies and with their sexual expression. So I'm super happy to be talking to you today and having this conversation and being introduced to Brazil.
Yeah! Samba Sex Carnival. I'll take you there. I'll be your guide.
Please be my guide. I want to go to Carnival in Brazil.
Listen, guys, girls, everybody's going to be throwing themselves at you because look at you, how gorgeous you are. And let me go towards this cowgirl ride, okay? Because some girls out there are extremely shy, and some guys too. You know, I saw your video on YouTube, your friend, hot, sexy chocolate man. Shout out to you there. I don't know his name, but wow, he did a show with your guidance, how to do the movement, how to, what was the movement name again? Like, there's a name to it, where did he move his body to really?
Yeah, it's like a scoop, you know, and it's a meeting of the pelvises. And so what I found, like when I put that video up, there were a bunch of women around the world that were like, got it, great, thank you for the advice, right? And then there were just still so many women that were like, okay, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so I developed an entire fitness program around targeting the problem areas. Like, number one problem area is like the knees hurting, the thighs burning, and then second is low stamina, so not being able to last long without tiring. And so I developed a workout that helps women to last longer and be able to snatch souls. I say I train dick assassins. because when you get up there and you put these moves on, you're gonna finish them. And with the
That's
tips and the tricks that
amazing.
I give, it's like, yes, only get up there when he's almost there. You don't want to get up there just straight out the gate unless you want to have a long ride, you
Oh,
know? So
that's
it's in
awesome.
I started touring the world with my class in 2016, and then when the pandemic hit, I couldn't tour in person, so I started an online community, and it's at thecowgirlworkout.com,
I
and
saw
it's
some movement. And listen, girls that are watching this, and men to guys, for you out there, you think like, oh, well, she's doing workout. She's wearing leggings and like a nice little top. And no, 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 no. She is showing you the reality, what it takes to look sexy, hot, confident. She has all the tools there and she's showing you this is what it is. Because let's get
yep.
really here, Tyomi. It's very, very scary for a
Mhm.
woman that have a baby or is a mom or is in a certain age that they think like, oh my gosh, I cannot move my body like this. I have
Yep.
my little like belly coming out and a little bit overweight here, overweight there. We always like too much focus on our physical appearance instead of being focused on what is the pleasure in the moment, the connection, right?
Absolutely. And that's like literally one of the core insecurities that women come to me with when they come into my coaching container is I have a lot of women who are moms or and they're reclaiming their bodies now, right? Or they're new divorcees and they want to just jump back out into the world and they want to feel better about their bodies, or they've been in these marriages where like they haven't taken control because they feel insecure about their bodies. And so it's really important for me to not just teach the moves, but teach women how to love their bodies as they are. Like I'm a big woman. I'm not a small woman. I'm 5'10" and a
Mm-hmm.
half. I'm 226 pounds. And so I know what it's like to be in a larger body and to have parts of your body that you don't love. Like I'm always into it with my belly, right? But I always
Mm-hmm.
tell my clients, I'm like, no man actually cares. If you have gotten to the point where you are naked and you are in the bed, he doesn't care what your body looks like. He accepts it and embraces it because he's even gotten you to that point. So
Yeah.
it's really an even playing ground. But saying that and embracing that is two different things. So I teach women how to love themselves exactly where they are because the nature of us as women, like we gain weight, we lose weight, and it happens consistently depending on our lifestyle, depending on our mood, depending on the food that we're
Exactly.
eating, you know what I mean? And
And the
so
stress too, right, Naomi? There's so much
yes.
stressy. Like for example, I remember when I went to my separation and my like yes, there is men out there that they don't care when you get naked, but I have a special uh, kind of like a cesarean where it was not horizontal, it was vertical, and it kind of like damaged my tummy. And when I took the courage to put myself out there again, I remember that vivid. You're not gonna believe me, but trust me, I think you heard it all, but I'll share that with you and with everybody that's listen. This dude actually, we are there, we are about to get naked, like we are getting naked, and when he see my tummy and we are going to the bed, he looked at me and said, oh my gosh, I deserve much better than that. So some woman can go out there and be like, I'm traumatized now, I cannot get a naked in front of a man anymore, right? So as much as it's important for them to feel confident, which you teach, you also teach them how to pass through those barriers and blockage, correct?
Because in two, it's like other people's opinions of your body don't really matter. That's their perception. It's really about how you feel about yourself. And then the great thing about it is like teaching boundaries. If someone isn't respecting you in the bedroom, if they're not
Yeah,
making you feel like the goddess that you are and as beautiful as
exactly.
you are, then they don't deserve to enter you. And
Absolutely.
giving women the confidence to be able to say no and to walk away and to feel safe doing so is also a big part of what I do. Because, just because someone wants to have sex with you doesn't mean that you have to, doesn't mean that you
Absolutely.
should. And
Absolutely.
there is something around like feeling desired, right? So every person on the face of this earth, no matter what gender you are, you want to feel that someone else looks at you and desires you sexually or wants to love you or finds you attractive, right? And so if you're not experiencing that, then you start to feel like you're not good enough. But then that goes back to basing your entire existence and your beauty and your aura on someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
And if you only base it on someone else's opinion, then you're never going to feel good about
You're never
yourself.
gonna go anywhere in life, not just in the sex
Anywhere.
department, but in love and in finding a great intimacy, great connection. Correct? Like it's, and I was listening to you, in another interviews and get to know you more even before I had this project of my own podcast, because like I am very fan of you, and I love how much you are so free and open, and there's no shame to talk about and to really embrace who we are. And I feel out there's so much judgment, right? Like
Yes.
um when you talk about, like, we are in June now, we're Pride Month, and you are very proud to express for everybody that you're pansexual, and a lot of people don't know even what a pansexual is. Can you just explain for us a little bit?
Yes, so pansexual is a person that has sexual attraction to everyone, no matter their gender and their identity. And I discovered this because there was like one day I was hanging out with some friends after the Exotica Expo, and um, my one friend, like I'm very attracted to her, so I always knew I liked women. But then her friend was actually a trans woman,
Okay.
and I don't know, I just felt this energy coming off of her, and I was just like, what is this? And I felt very attracted to her, and I was just like, wait, I'm attracted to a trans person? Okay, I don't think that I'm actually bisexual. I think I'm something else. And so when I came across the term pansexual, I was like, yes, this defines me because I find myself just being drawn to energy. And
Amazing.
a lot of my experiences have been like heteronormative experiences, but
Mhm.
as I've like grown and as I've opened up and expanded my sexuality, like I came to discover that. And so I was like, well, I can't say I'm straight. I'm not straight whatsoever. And so I literally came out last year and just saying like, hey y'all, I am pansexual and I'm proud
That's
to admit
beautiful.
that.
That's beautiful.
Now that I am open, it's like it's now it's like so fresh, and I'm just stepping into new experiences now, which feels really amazing. So
Do you
I'm
feel like
excited about it.
there's do you feel that is there's judgment, like, cuz or intimidation per se, when you start talking with a man and you say to them, I am Tyomi, the goddess of the sex. I am a sexologist, and I have been doing that for a long time. And you start to talk all about your knowledge and how you've been and the process you've been doing in your life. Do you feel that men get really scared about you and like petrified?
So I will say this, like I'm newly single. Like I was married from 2018 to 2020, and the marriage ended in 2020. And so I
I'm
took like
sorry.
the last, oh no, I'm not sorry. It is okay. I am so happy and glad that I get to be free
Good.
to do
Good.
what I want to do, and find healthier, happier relationships. But I mean, it was beautiful for what it was. But like prior to being married and then also now, like I try not to lead with the fact that I am a sex coach and that I am who I am. Because some people don't know who I am and what I do because
Mm-hmm.
or they don't recognize me, but then they find out that they follow me or they found some content before, and so they will know. So going on dating apps and stuff is really weird for me because number one, people think I'm a catfish because I am so pretty. And then when I do
You're
reveal what
so
I do,
humble.
they're
You
like, is this really you? Do you really look like this? And so then if I do get to give them the opportunity to like FaceTime me or something, they're just like, whoa. Or if they see me in real life, they're like, whoa, you're better in person, even in pictures. And so what I find is like when I do express what I do, then they automatically go down this road of assuming that I'm just automatically going to have sex with them. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to tell you that this is what I do. And or they do become intimidated because they're like, oh, are you gonna be judging me?
Yeah.
You're gonna be coaching me. And the most corny thing, oh my gosh, the most corny thing that I hear sometimes when I do have sex with men is
Tell me.
like, show me something, sex teacher. I'm like, don't do that. That's fucking corny. That is corny. I hate that with a passion. It's so annoying. And so the guys that are intimidated, they just don't even try. The ones that are intimidated, but they want to challenge, they will try. And then I just get turned off. He's very confident in himself and he knows what to do with me. And he knows like it's best to connect with me first. Like men who are very confident in their sexuality, they don't brag, they don't boast, they don't talk, and they also don't become intimidated. They get to know me and we spend time together. And when we get into the bedroom, they fucking shock me because they don't give off any vibes like they're trying to pursue me in that way. And that makes me feel safe and comfortable.
That's beautiful.
And then sex is great, you know? So I, it is a challenge dating for that reason, and then also because I am poly, you know,
Yeah.
I enjoy having multiple loving relationships, and so the pool of people who are poly is a lot smaller than people who are monogamous. So when it
Mm.
comes to like long-term romantic partnerships, it's like not easy finding that right now, but there are more people who just want to have sex or who just want to hook up or just want to have fun, you know, than there are those who will be committed to me in an open relationship.
Yeah, but this is the thing that I think I wanted to explore more with you. Um, is that sometimes, like for example, if I sometimes I think like, holy shit, like I'm in this relationship now, it's great, but I look on the side and I'm like, oh, that person is hot. I would like to have sex with this person. And then I feel a connection, and the connection is there from the other side too. And I'm remember, oh, but I'm in a monogamous relationship now. Is
Hmm.
that not better just say it, listen, I'm feeling attracted to another person. I cannot be just in a mono, relationship. Let's just be like respectful. You are my priority and I will
Yep.
be with you. I'll be loyal to you. I'll come back to you, but I'm
Yep.
gonna go explore and do my thing that I have to do. Is not that better?
It is, to me, it's better because it allows you to express yourself with who you want to and to extend that love and receive that love back. And then you have your primary partner who is your base. Like in polyamorous relationships, there's all types of different like formations of relationships. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people have a primary partner, some people have no hierarchy where everybody's kind of like on the same playing field. But what's interesting, Beatrice, is the fact that like so many people are practicing non-monogamy, but it's unethical. They're cheating. They have side chicks. They have side dudes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I
They're
agree.
already doing it, but they're lying. They're being deceitful, and in turn, they're hurting their partners. So it's like,
Yep.
why not do it ethically? You want to know why?
Tell
Because it
me.
requires work.
Yeah.
It requires work because when you
And
do it,
vulnerability, right? You have to be like no
yes.
masks on. Like you have to be complete, like naked, like say.
So people just want to hook up, and hooking up just means like wham bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm gone. But
Mhm.
when it comes to maintaining though, and you can just swing. Like swinging is a thing, and it's healthy to do that too when it's consensual and you do it consciously and ethically. But when it comes to having multiple relationships that you're going to have continuously, it takes work to maintain those relationships because you're going to be emotionally involved with those people too. And I think that is the point where people start to feel weird about ethically entering into non monogamy because there's this idea that you can only be romantically involved emotionally with one person. And some people can't handle the weight of that. But
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so you can't handle the weight of it when it's ethical, but you're out here sneaking around and that feels better to you and you're able to manage that more.
Yeah.
You're afraid to get caught, you're stressing yourself out, you're arranging your life in a way to where you don't get caught and
Absolutely.
that's okay with you, but being open about it and being honest about it isn't. It's just I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's very strange to me.
I agree with you. And there is even like a website that they created just especially for man or woman to go there and cheat instead.
Ashley Madison.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And I feel like why we are so afraid to be our like truly selves, right? Why? Like, this is the question that I've been in this journey and asking like all the time. Why am I afraid? For example, I even go a little bit deeper. Some women out there and men, they think like, oh my gosh, I would say me, okay? I'm gonna I look at you, I say, whoa, she's hot, oh my gosh, but I'm not lesbica, I'm not gay, but she's hot. Wow, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if people actually go through and explore and give them like a try just to figure it out and see that we are talking about sexuality is not just about men and women, it's about energy that we exchange with somebody, right? And that's what I've been discovering lately in my process with my podcast, is that with my hosts and people that I have it on, is that being a man and one woman does not define really your sexuality.
No,
it doesn't define, because you can today like wake up and say, okay, I am a heterosexual, but next day you're gonna see like this gorgeous goddess, tall, sexy woman, you know, with a beautiful skin, long hair, and you'd be like, holy shit, like, wow, I want to be closer to her, I want to talk more with her. Tell me, how was like your first experience when you know, like, you being with a woman? How was that for you?
Oh my gosh. Wow. So I'm trying to think when the first time was.
Oops.
The first time it was, oh yes, the first time it was actually like with a friend of mine, and it was very overwhelming because I did not expect for her to like engage with me sexually. And so it was great. But then I was like, okay, wait, let's stop. And I was like high. I was so high. I was like, yo, wait, let's stop this.
Yeah.
But it felt liberating because I was just like, oh my God, I always fantasized about this. This is great. And so that kind of like sealed the deal for me that like, yes, this is something that I actually do desire and want. And then what I learned over time was like, when because she was more like the dominant one, so she was like dominating me. That was my first time ever being like dominated by a woman, right? But I find myself being more on the dominating side with women, and I love like seducing women. It's very fun, it's very easy. And I think too, because it's like I'm a woman and I know how I would like to be touched, I know how I would like to be approached. And so it's fun like playing in that dynamic. And it's also fun like flirting with women who maybe are bi-curious or they don't know yet that they are.
Yeah.
And just see like things just change and like shift in their demeanor, and like, you know, and then by the end of the night they're just like, where are you going? Like, oh, can we stay in touch? It's like, yeah, we can.
I don't know, I feel like men are so awkward when it comes to flirt with a woman.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Tell me.
The things that I've heard, the things that I've experienced.
Please tell us. Tell.
It's like men saying things like, I'll put some babies in you. Or like, they'll see me and how tall I am and they'll be like, I'll dunk on you. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to dunk a basketball, so you would. Oh, I like to climb trees. Oh, you're a tall glass of water. It like just really just silly things. Or like men will do things like, I remember one time I walked past this guy and something fell. I didn't knock it. No, that's not what happened. I was standing there. He walked into me, he bumped into me, and he dropped his stuff and he said, "You just gonna bump into me like that?" I was like, what? I was just standing here. What are you talking about? I even had a guy and this is somebody that like I've known for a while. We're talking on and off, but never got into a relationship. Like I saw him at a festival over the weekend, and he was with his girlfriend, which it all was very awkward because I'm like, when did you get this girlfriend? Because you were just telling me last month you wanted me to go on vacation with you. So, okay, whatever. And so instead of just being friendly with me, because we're just friends, right? But clearly he has feelings for me. I'm talking to another guy, and between us, he reaches through and he punches me in the shoulder. And I'm just like,
oh, what?
Sometimes men do very childish and immature things to get my attention.
Yeah.
But what I really like is when men are straight, like when I say straightforward, I don't mean like coming in too hot, because I had a guy like that who, oh my gosh, just like literally over this weekend, and like we're having a conversation. We both found out we were poly, and he started asking me like, how do you like to be touched? And so he started touching me, and I'm like, I told you how I like to be touched, but that didn't mean like touch me right now.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, he wanted me to make out with him in the middle of this festival in front of all these people. And I'm like, dude, absolutely not. Like, that's coming in too hot. But I like when men are respectful. They come over to give me a compliment.
I think they're like,
yeah, I love being seduced.
Yeah,
I love it.
That they don't know that there's a seduction to be like a day by day kind of thing. Like if a guy texts you, say, hey, just check it in. How's your day going? Did you eat today?
I like gifts.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm at a restaurant and a guy pays my bill, what? Or he buys me a drink, you know, or like, you know, if he sends me flowers, or if he's thoughtful enough to like pick something up for me that he thought I would like and he sends it to me, or he sends me money for dinner, you know, like these are things that I really enjoy, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel desired, and I fucking deserve it too. It's like I'm a goddess. You should come bearing gifts when you approach me.
Yeah.
You know, just not wanting something from me. But I don't think that men really understand the power of seduction.
I wanted to have as many guests as Mally here as possible too, to kind of discuss about these things, you know, and educate a man that, hey, yes, we are becoming feminism, and we feministas, and we do want the right things, but don't lose chivalry. Like, don't be always like courtesy, and like some women still appreciate that, and the best way to do it is by listening to them, right?
It's very simple. Just listen, and we'll tell you exactly how to treat us and exactly what we want. And the thing is, it's like if how you want to be treated does not match up with how he wants to treat you, then you can just say no. You don't have to like begrudgingly go along with it. And what I don't like is when a man doesn't want to do something, but he's so eager to just have sex that he'll go along with it anyway. And then he's holding this spirit of entitlement as if I'm obligated to have sex with him because he paid for something that's expensive. Like I've literally had guy friends and associates, right, talk about how, and they make jokes about it, right? It's like a part of like comedic stand-up routines, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm looking at the bill and you're gonna have to give me $300 worth of pussy because I spent $300 on you. And it's like, sir, excuse me, I can afford my own steak. I can afford my own wine. I can afford to do all of this. So if you think that I owe you something because you're paying for it, let me just pay for it. As a matter of fact, let me drive myself. I don't allow men to even pick me up anymore because I've been kidnapped.
What?
I have been kidnapped before.
What?
Where this was before the days of Uber, right? This guy literally picked me up in a limo, and he was just like riding around the city, like running errands. I had no idea where we were going, and he wouldn't let me leave. So, and then also there's that whole thing of like, if he drives you, then it's like, oh, so you want to go back to your place or do you want to come home with me? I don't even want that to be a question. I want to have the freedom to be able to leave when I want to leave. So now in the days of Uber, if I don't drive, I can just call an Uber, but I have a car. So I'm just, drive myself.
Do you know what I feel like when you say that? Do you know what I hear? that we woman is still not safe, that we're still in a predator environment where male has tricky ways to how try to grab us and manipulate us to kind of have sex. Is like their mind is wired in their penises, and all the things they want and do is to have a sex. Okay, fine, guys, we love sex too, right, Tyomi?
Yes, I love sex.
I
I
love
do.
sex too.
It has to be my choice though, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
coerced or forced or manipulated into sex, because then it's not consensual,
Or
and now you're assaulting.
intimidated, right? Because a lot of times I felt intimidated. I felt like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, no, no, what am I gonna do now? Thank you that we have so much more thoughts, and we always come up with a way to get out of the situation, but it's a little bit like, and we're not generalizing here. We are not like, there's great men out there, there's beautiful human beings, but with the message that we want to send, like that we want to send here, is that sex is a big part of a dating. Sex it is. Like we just sex is like there, like it should not like call dating. It should call looking for connect penises and pussies. That's what it should call.
Yeah, because there is an expectation that sex is going to come along in dating. It's like, okay, after so many experiences, then I'm going to have the sex. It's like, no. And I recently dated somebody for like 6 months before we had sex, and that was great. Like, I loved the fact that like we had spent the night together, we had been on multiple dates, and he never like made a move on me that was beyond what I wanted. And we had made out and stuff like that, but it was never like, it never went all the way into penetrative sex. And so when it did, I was pleasantly surprised. I was shocked. I didn't know it was going to be that amazing. But it just felt good for once to be able to just connect with someone without them focusing on when they're going to have sex with me. It's just like, oh my gosh, like you're ruining it. You're ruining it for me. Like, even if I thought that I wanted to have sex with you because you're so eager now, I don't. Like,
absolutely. And like, to be honest with you, like when I did have sex without too much knowing the person, for me felt like empty. It felt completely empty. It felt like deceiving at the same time, because I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I was like. And in my head, I was like, if I would have waiting to know this person better, maybe I would have fallen in love for his personality, that when it come up to the moment when I have sex with him, things would be great. And we could have done probably a little bit like longer than just, and when we have a sex, it was like, I don't like to fake orgasm, but I did.
No, I would never do that.
But I did. Like, I was like, I just want this done. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I always feel like they want to have the sex, but they don't want to take the time to really get to I feel like we are almost like just objects sometimes for certain men. Yeah. Right?
Yep. And I sometimes I just use them as objects. Like, I'll just be like, all right, bye.
So tell me, what would be the advice you give to women out there that are very insecure, they lost their libido or their, power pussy, it's called, and they wanted to get back there, and they just want to go out, have a sex, and not have like attachment. Like, what would be the advice you give to them?
I would really like just tell them to first figure out where everything went south. So find the root cause of the loss of desire and the loss of the motivation to get out there, and then remedy that. So it could have been like the loss of a lover, or like the ending of a relationship or having children and having like the added responsibilities of being a mom and not really having the time to put in the self-care to feel sexy. And then also like the world is changing and like pop culture, like things change so much. You may look out into the world through social media and feel like you don't fit into that. Well, you know, kind of turning that stuff off.
That's why I
and
love
really
you. That's why I love you. I love you because you are there and you show them, listen, girl, this is what a real body looks like. And this is how
Oh
you
my
do
gosh,
it. And
yes.
like, guys, you need to see one of her videos, workout called Girl. It's amazing. She's in this beautiful lingerie and she's just moving her body as like she's like this beautiful snake move, and it feels like she doesn't even have a bone on her body. She's just like moving. And I was like, I was practicing a little bit because I'm a little bit stiff, and I was like, damn, Tyomi, thank you.
My client literally just told me, she was like, you were putting in work. She said, you got stripper strength. I don't have that. I was like, you can develop it over time. Trust me when I tell you, you can develop it. It's not like a superpower that I was just blessed with. But yeah, like it's very easy to look at social media because it's a microcosm, right? It's literally a microcosm. It's very easy to scroll all day and then program your mind with this idea that if you don't look like this, then you're not going to be desired. But as soon as you unplug and you step out into the real world, you notice that practically no one around you looks like what you're seeing on Instagram, right?
Oh yeah.
And it brings you back down to earth and remembering that the average person out there is going to be looking for an average person. And I will say, like, being a person that's like beautiful and gorgeous and like, you know, goddess energy is very intimidating to people because they're like, I've never met anybody like you. I've never had this experience. And so, you know, you don't have to be supermodel status to be attractive, to be loved, to have great sex, to make connections with people. You don't. And so unplug and drop all of the expectations and the ideas of what you're supposed to look like and embrace yourself as you are and just walk out into the world and take a chance. And guess what? Even if that person isn't attracted to you, it's not about you. That's just their preference. It has nothing to do with you at all. And maintaining that mindset takes practice. It's easily said, but applying it into your life is scary because to even think about like going outside in something that you've never worn, but it makes you feel sexy, something that you've never worn before, like something that's like more form-fitting or like revealing and like something that just makes you feel sexy. And it's like scary to go outside in that because you're like, oh, what are people going to think? People are going to be looking at me. But the real test is just going out there and doing it.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, right? Because this is how I built my confidence over time because I wasn't always confident in my body because I started developing breasts and like booty and all this stuff at a very early age, like at 8 years old. So I had to wear big clothes and like cover my body for like most of my life. And I remember the first time I went outside in something that was like revealing, I felt very exposed, but just the attention that I got and like the responses, I was like, whoa, okay. And even though inside I was terrified, so many people were coming up to me like, you're so confident, da da da. And it's like, oh, wow, you think I'm confident? Great. So you may be feeling terrified on the inside, but people will literally come up to you and just be like, oh my gosh, this looks great. How do you have that much confidence? I wish I had your confidence. And that literally just like boosts self-esteem so well. And so like, just get out there and do it. Take the chance.
Go a little bit, Tyomi. I wanted to add on what you're saying to people because, you know, like I said, people do feel intimidated. And I wanted to tell you guys that when I approached her, I was petrified.
Oh.
I was petrified. I was like, oh my gosh, she's never gonna talk to me. She's this like a sex goddess, and she has been like in so many TV shows. She has been in a Playboy radio. She has been a CBS Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
She's
Yep.
like in the radio stations. She has been in TV shows. She's like this amazing bomb. I'm like, no, I cannot even get close to her. And when I reached out to her, she didn't take it too long to respond to me. She didn't know who I was. And she didn't know like who's this girl? What does she want? No, she was so kind, so understanding, supportive. And I wanted to really, really, the bottom of my heart, to thank you so, so much to make one of my dream goal come true. That was to
Oh,
interview you and not have this kind of like, it was like more girl to girl talk, right?
absolutely. And I really appreciated just having like girl gab. Like I really like the banter back and forth and just it feeling like really casual. So it was my pleasure to help make this dream come true for you and to be a guest on your podcast and to be introduced to Brazil by
Yeah.
way of Toronto.
Hey guys, listen to this. She's single, she's in the Bumble, as I heard. You guys can go check her out on her Instagram directly. She normally responds very fast. And
Mhm.
listen to the podcast additionally because she know what she wants. She's available. She's available. Take
I
her
love
to
how you're
Brazil. She never been yet. She told me.
I've never been. I've never been to Brazil. I love how you're like advocating for me. You're just like, come on, guys, what's up?
But it's true, like seriously, like I was feeling very like, oh my gosh, this you are a star, like you are this amazing sex goddess and star, like you have been done so much things. And I felt like I'm gonna come here and say, hey Tyomi, yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Um, so I want to
The
make
thing
sure
about
that you felt comfortable, that Brazil can meet you and know who you are, and Canada and all. Guys, for today's is all we have. Tyomi Morgan for you. And if you want more, go visit her on her Instagram. For those that isn't yet aware of my podcast, we are also on Instagram at pod Sex in Toronto City. My name is Beatriz Vieira, and we also have all the videos that's going to be translated and sent to YouTube. Also, we are on TikTok. Anyways, we're on all platforms. You're not going to miss out. Spotify, Apple Podcast. I am very happy that you're listening to this. Thank you very much. I appreciate you to add on what you're saying to people because, like I said, people do feel intimidated. And I wanted to tell you guys that when I approached her, I was petrified. I was
oh,
petrified. I was like, oh my gosh, she's never gonna talk to me. She's this like a sex goddess, and she has been like in so many TV shows. She has been in a Playboy radio. She has been in CBS. Is that correct?
Mhm.
She's
Yep.
like in the radio stations. She has been in TV shows. She's like this amazing bomb. I'm like, no, I cannot even get close to her. And when I reached out to her, she didn't take it too long to respond to me. She didn't know who I was. And she didn't know like who's this girl? What does she want? No, she was so kind, so understanding, supportive. And I wanted to really, really, the bottom of my heart, to thank you so, so much to make one of my dream goal come true. That was to
Oh,
interview you and not have this kind of like, it was like more girl to girl talk, because I
yeah.
feel that you have you have this amazing energy. And when I see you on the TV shows, or I see you on YouTube, I heard some podcasts you also did it even before I had my own podcast. And I found the questions be very sometimes script, and I didn't want that. I really wanted to have like, hey girl, what's your problem? Like what do you feel out there that is going on? Like, let's talk about the weirdest thing happened to you dating. What did you talk about? Yes, we are talking shit sometimes about men, yes, but it's real. And men do talk shit about women too, and that's what we
Yes.
are. We try to make things as real as possible and to show, hey, man, I have this issue with you. Girls, I have this issue with you. And then come with a solution and have amazing sex, relationship, whatever we want, right?
Absolutely. And I really appreciated just having like girl gab. Like I really like the banter back and forth and just it feeling like really casual. So it was my pleasure to help make this dream come true for you and to be a guest on your podcast and to be introduced to Brazil by way
Yes!
of Toronto.
Hey guys, listen to this. She's single, she's in the Bumble, as I heard. You guys can go check her out on her Instagram directly. She normally responds very fast. And listen to the podcast additionally because she knows what she wants. She's available. She's available. Take her to Brazil. She never been yet. She told me.
I've never been to Brazil. I love how you're like advocating for me. You're just like, come on, guys, what's up?
But it's true. Like seriously, like I was feeling very like, oh my gosh, this you are a star. Like you are this amazing sex goddess and star. Like you have been done so much things, and I felt like I'm gonna come here and say, hey, Tyomi, yeah, you know what I mean? So I want to make sure that you felt comfortable, that Brazil can meet you and know who you are, and Canada and all the people that's going to be listening to this. Sorry, my friends, that's going to be listening to this and be like, Bea, I didn't know about you, but yes, welcome.
Well, if I'm ever in Toronto, we'll have to hang out. Like, I love Toronto.
Absolutely. Come for a visit, for sure. For sure. I would take you to this amazing tea place that is like a very English kind of thing. And we can even put a little hair thing. Yes. And just we can pretend for one day to be Britishes. And
I love that. I absolutely love that because London's one of my like favorite places in the world too. So that would be lovely.
Me too. I love it. Okay, guys, for today's is all we have. Tyomi Morgan for you. And if you want more, go visit her on her Instagram. For those that isn't yet aware of my podcast, we are also on Instagram at Sex in Toronto City. My name is Beatriz Vieira, and we also have all the videos that's going to be translated and sent to YouTube. Also, we are on TikTok. Anyways, we're in all platforms. You're not going to miss out. Spotify, Apple Podcast. I am very happy that you're listening to this. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And don't forget, we are not being putting men here down. That was not the intention of the show. It's just to clarify what we have issue with certain men. And thank you so much for listening. Enjoy. Until next time.